is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
So far in 2017, the Lone Star Series has lived up to the hype. The rivalry sparked up early with tensions boiling over in Game 1. But a late-inning rally helped the neighbors to the south draw first blood. Looking to level the score in Game 2, the Rangers came out swinging early. Old-school home run derby fashion. But their long ball efforts were thwarted by the comeback kids once again. It was a grand night for the streaking Astros. Tonight in Game 3, Vanny's crew hopes to pen a new narrative at the Juice Box. Welcome to Texas Rangers Baseball, presented by AT&T once again. We come to you live from Houston, Texas, Minute Maid Park. It is the Silver Boot Series where the Rangers and Astros get set for Game 3 of a 4-game series. Now the Rangers looking to get their first win of this series tonight with Nick Martinez taking the mound. Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve. And a little good news, bad news for you. The bad news is Rangers off to a bad start. Astros off to a very good start. I guess the good news on that, Tom, is that we've seen this before.
We've been there before. Hopefully, we'll have a parallel between this season and the 2015 season when the Rangers got off to a similar start. Let's look back to 2015. Actually, it was a worse start. They were 8-15. They weren't scoring runs under 4 runs a game. Games behind Houston, 2015, they were 8.5 games back. By the way, the Rangers won the West that year. It's a little bit different this year, Dave, because I think Houston is probably a better team. They didn't have the veteran leadership back then. Their younger guys are a little bit older. So it's going to be a task, and the Rangers are going to have to start playing better baseball pretty soon.
Yeah, well, and they hope that it starts tonight. Part of that will be the offense continuing on what they did yesterday. 7 runs in a losing effort, but we're seeing a couple of guys maybe starting to get hot.
Well, the Rangers have had some really good hitters that haven't been hot. A couple of them, one of them anyway, is Nomar Mazara. Nomar had a couple of hits last night and a walk. In the 9th inning, he had a 2-run homer into the short porch in left field. That got the Rangers to within 1. And Jonathan Lucroy launched one over the wall in left field. He went out to have 3 hits in the ball game, drove in a couple of runs. Both of the guys were hitting in the bottom of the lineup yesterday. In the lineup switch, they've moved up to 5th and 6th. So I think the hope from Jeff Bannister is both of these guys are starting to get hot.
Okay, so there's that side of it. Starting pitching. Well, I mean, the rotation is settling itself out for good and bad. The news about Cole Hamels last night, disappointing. Today, Nick Martinez making a start, and he may be in this rotation for a while now.
Well, if he pitches anything like he has the first 2 games, he'll stay there because he's looked really good. Nick has added a cutter to replace his slider, which has worked very well for him. And much like he's done when he's pitched well, he's pitched in to the lefties. Alex Gordon got jammed with that great fastball in. Mike Trout up and in, swings and misses. Albert Pujols, the same thing, jammed in a little pop-up. He's pounding his fastball in. He's using his cutter. He's pitched 13 innings, only walked 1 batter, and struck out 10. He's been really good so far.
Well, the Astros have come up with the late-inning heroics in the first 2 nights. This evening, the Rangers try to flip the script in Game 3. here at Minute Maid Park, the opening 2 games of this series, ready for game 3, the long 4-gamer. And as we get ready tonight, more news coming out this afternoon about Cole Hamels, and we check in for the first time tonight with John Radigan.
Yeah, Dave, exactly 24 hours ago, we stood here wondering what was wrong with Cole Hamels. Why was he such a last-minute scratch? About 5 hours ago, we learned the extent of his injury. Cole Hamels will be placed on the 10-day disabled list with a strained right oblique. Now, it's an injury that Cole has never had before, but history dictates that what you see there is true. It's about an 8-week injury. Cole admits that he actually felt a sharp pain in his right side as he was taking his last few warm-up tosses in the bullpen and knew he couldn't take the mound. Anthony Bass has been recalled. That, though, is more to shore up the bullpen, which was pressed into such serious service last night in the absence of Cole Hamels. For now, it's time for us to get to our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, and today we shine the light on the defense of Joey Gallo. Gallo leads Major League Baseball with 84 total chances. He had 9 on Monday night alone, and he says he's very proud of his defense. In fact, he loves to prove people wrong. When they see a big 6'5" guy, they can't believe he plays third base. So far, he has proven them wrong at the Major League level. Nick Martinez is 3-1 in 4 starts against the Astros. Hopes to make it 4-1. We've got the lineups in the first pitch coming next.
By AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Now they're playing for the silver boot. First 2 have gone to the Astros in this series. This game 3 tonight here at Minute Maid Park, in a little bit different scene. As you can see, the roof closed tonight. We had it open the past 2 evenings. Gorgeous weather down here, but today some rain this afternoon. Slightly inclement weather, so they shut this thing down. It will make it a little noisier in here tonight, and we'll see how it affects the flight of the baseballs. We take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. Texas Rangers come in 11 wins, 16 losses. No real surprise at the top of the order. Delano DeShields leading it off in center. Rougned Odor, though, moved into the 2 spot, which is a little bit of a surprise. Elvis Andrus third. Joey Gallo now batting cleanup, so the shakeup in the middle of the order might get your attention. Jonathan Lucroy batting 5th. You see the numbers for Chu in his last 11 games against the Astros. Very good. He's batting 8th tonight.
And we'll look at the arsenal for Charlie Morton. A lot of 2-seam fastballs. He'll mix in a curveball, a cutter. A lot of interesting things in the notes about Charlie Morton tonight. In 2011, he changed his delivery. He's become an extreme ground ball pitcher, and look for that tonight. Astros defense and a very solid defense. Springer moves to center from right. Reddick in right is an outstanding fielder. Aoki in this ballpark plays left field very well. Young infield with Bregman, Correa, and Altuve. Marwin Gonzalez, a couple of big home runs last night, gets the nod at first base tonight. Brian McCann is behind the plate.
So we're set to go, and Morton starts it off with ball 1 to Delino DeShields. Now Delino yesterday with his first career leadoff home run. And this is the 7th straight game in which he has been in that leadoff spot. He's ahead here 2-0. He has definitely provided an offensive spark in that leadoff position. Corners are in, having to respect his speed, and it is 3-0. Charlie Morton, 2 wins, 2 losses. This is his 6th start of the year, a .450 earned run average. And he finds, well,
came close to the strike zone.
In theory, close enough, I guess, for Rob Drake, our plate umpire. That one grooved, so it's a full count. Delino 7 for 21 since moving into the lineup every day in that leadoff spot. He has scored 8 runs in 6 games, drawn 5 walks as well. And he takes strike 3 called. Wow. Well, pretty close. That is a quality pitch.
It's one of those borderline pitches, right at the knees and right at around the outside corner. Delino, who's been very patient, done a great job swinging at strikes and taking balls. Didn't like the call. Borderline pitch. That one went the way of Charlie Morton. It was interesting to read about Charlie Morton. In 2011, he altered his delivery, became an extreme ground ball pitcher. And a couple of years ago, his velocity spiked. He used to throw about 92. Last couple of years has been 95, 96. So he's increased his velocity. He's become more of a sinker ball, ground ball pitcher. And we'll see how that plays out tonight. A pretty good cutter right there at 90 miles an hour.
1-1 on Odor, who comes in with that average at 181. It's certainly one of the guys Jeff Bannister trying to get started somehow.
There's a bigger breaking ball. That's his curveball.
A longtime National League pitcher. I mean, he's a 10-year big league veteran, but this his first season in the American League. And his 2-1 pitch is tight. A good long guy, 6'5", 220 pounds. Morton now 33 years old, and when he came up with the Atlanta Braves, they're pretty excited about him. Had a tough go there, and was a Pirate shortly thereafter as he loses Odor. And the Rangers have their first base runner tonight. He's a guy, Morton, with which Rangers manager Jeff Bannister very familiar with their combined years in the Pirates system. Morton became a pitcher for the Pirates in 2009 and pitched parts of what, about 5-6 years. Yeah, 6 years with the Pirates. 7 years, pardon me, with the Pirates. Jeff Bannister, prior to becoming the manager of the Rangers, of course, a lifelong member of the Pirates organization. And now Elvis Andrus takes ball 1. So Morton, I'll tell you what, early on here, having a little trouble finding the strike zone to get the called third strike on DeShields.
Talked a little bit about the lineup changes tonight. Jeff Bannister wanted Odor to hit second, maybe get him out of the middle of the order mentality. and give him a chance maybe to see some more fastballs, be a different type of hitter as a second place hitter rather than a middle of the order guy. Doesn't walk a lot, but batting second tonight, first time up, he worked a walk. Elvis got to bat fourth in the last homestand, and as the Rangers' most consistent hitter, he's hitting third tonight. It's hard to argue, having watched all the hitters a month into the season, that Elvis tonight doesn't deserve to be the third place hitter.
Now look at that graphic right there. He has started in 7 different spots in the order. Well, last year, really settled in nicely toward the bottom of the order, and that's where he found so much success. Started the year there this year because of the way he's been swinging it. Benny's had to move him up quite a bit.
He's a little bit different hitter now than he was early in his career. Early in his career, he went to right field a lot, was more of a line drive hitter, occasional double, a lot of singles. Not that he's turned into a home run hitter, but he has 4 home runs a month into the season. And so he's a little more equipped if he does bat there. Runs well, can steal a base. And his average is 30 points higher than anyone else in the lineup. There's a good breaking ball. That's his curveball. Brought it back toward the outside corner. Actually right toward the middle of the plate.
One, two. Ooh, and it is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now last night, talking about the power, Andrews flashed a little bit of it in the 4th. Now that was one of 5 Rangers home runs last night. Ball game they lost 8-7, and that pitch is called strike 3.
Well, Morton's got the call twice on pitches just like that, right at the bottom of the strike zone. Pitches that could go either way, and in both cases, one to Delino, this one to Elvis, almost the exact same pitch. Charlie Morton got the call. McCann does a nice job of catching the ball, holding it right there, giving the umpire a good look at it. But if Morton can throw his pitches right there all night long and get the call all night long, it's going to be tough to hit.
That big sweeping breaking ball runs inside on Gallo, batting cleanup tonight. It's the 2nd time in his career that he has found himself in the 4th spot in the order. And you can see part of the reason why one of the better home run hitters in this early part of the season in the American League. And he chipped one into the Crawford boxes last night. Fooled on that one, 1-1 the count. So we're seeing a lot of guys in different spots. These Crawford boxes very appealing to lefties and righties. But a lot of guys moved around a little bit. For Andrews, his 2nd start ever in the 3-hole. Gallo now down to the count 1-2. He's always been a lot more selective this year. The strikeouts have still been there, and they always will be, one would imagine. But a lot more competitive at bats, and he swings and misses, and Charlie Morton strikes out the side in the 1st. So good start for the Astros. Now Nick Martinez coming out. first inning. And out of the bottom of the first inning, where the Astros come to bat for the first time tonight. 18-9 this year. We take a look at their starting lineup. George Springer in that leadoff spot. He does have power with 7 home runs. Reddick batting second. Altuve, Correa, and Beltran in the middle of the order. Marwin Gonzalez was the hero last night for the Astros and drove in 5 runs with a grand slam and the solo home run. Aoki rounding out the order.
Look at the pitch arsenal for Nick. We mentioned in the open to the show that he has replaced his slider with a cutter, and it's become a really good pitch for him. He has a curveball and changeup, and his two-seam fastball, his sinker. He's done a nice job of that, throwing it into the right-hand hitters as well as the left-hand hitters. He's gotten a lot of balls hit off the handle. If he can continue to locate his sinker that way, in on the fists, use his cutter and mix in his slower pitches, then he can continue to pitch the way he has.
Fields a comebacker, and there's one away.
Good combination. Ball right in on the fist for strike 1. Then he went away with a fastball and got the little tapper back to the mound. You see the catcher's glove on the outside corner, throws it right there and gets an easy out. That, you know, we say it all the time. The name of the game is the game between the pitcher and the hitter. And it basically boils down to, can the pitcher throw the ball where he wants to? All big league pitchers have good stuff. They wouldn't be there if they didn't. And what differentiates the great ones from the good ones is the command of their pitches, the movement on their pitches. And in Nick's first 2 starts, he's done that. 13 innings, only 1 walk with 10 strikeouts. And if he can continue to do that, he can continue to be successful.
Gets Reddick to offer it the second pitch he sees, and that high pop-up will hang up a long time for Rua, and there are 2 out.
The Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Delino in center field. Ryan Rua gets the start in left. Up the middle, it's as usual, Elvis and Rudned. Joey Gallo playing every day at third base. Naps over at first, and behind the plate after a big game last night. Jonathan Lucroy went 3 for 4 last night. That last pitch that Reddick popped up to left field, good fastball right in on the fists. Nick's velocity is a tick better, location is much better, and the cutter has given him a better weapon.
He dumped in a strike to Jose Altuve, third place hitter.
If Nick was watching, and I'm sure he was, Charlie Morton in the first inning, he's probably thinking, okay, Rob Drake is showing a little bit of a propensity to call that pitch right at the bottom of the strike zone. Not a bad idea to keep it right down there. Now that's the pitch that Andrew Kashner got in when he hit Altuve the first night here, trying to throw him in, and Nick's trying to do the same thing. That pitch is way inside, didn't hit him. That's where they try to pitch Altuve. There's the cutter. Pretty good combination to a hitter. Pound your fastball in and throw your slider or your cutter away.
On Nick's first 2 starts with the club have both been pretty good. Went 7 strong against Kansas City. Followed that up with 6 good innings against the Angels. And gets a little bouncer up the middle. Andrews had to wait an extra hop to throw to first. Just in time. And barely gets Altuve, but completes a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Martinez. And to use just 8 pitches to get it done. Go to the second. 2nd, and the 2017 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Go to TexasRangers.com/vote. Choose your All-Star Game worthy stars. Send them to the All-Star Game presented by MasterCard on July 11th in Miami this year. So vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote as often as you want and like at TexasRangers.com. 2nd inning, and Jonathan Lucroy stands in to take a strike. Lucroy, Mazzara, and Napoli. 5, 6, and 7 this inning for the Rangers. Tall right-hander Morton jumps ahead 0-2.
Now, Morton's off to a pretty good start. He's 2-2. His ERA is 4.50. He's coming off a pretty nice start. 7 innings, no walks, 12 strikeouts, but he did give up 4 runs. When you look at the stuff he's got, mid-90s sinker, gets a lot of ground balls. Got a sweeping curveball. There it is.
Bounce to the left side for Bregman.
It looks like it should translate into better results than it has.
I'm with you on that. I mean, what we've seen tonight, of course, is very early, looks very good, but then you go back to the numbers you just pointed out. 12 strikeouts, no walks in his last outing against Oakland. That's a nice outing.
Yeah, and then 5 hits and 4 runs. So, you know, they don't add up. In his career coming into the game today, he's 48-73 with a 4.5 ERA. We talked about in 2011 he became more of a ground ball pitcher, and 2 years ago his fastball went up from an average of 92 miles an hour to where it now averages 95 or 96 miles an hour. So he's gotten better movement on his sinker, more velocity on it, and his other pitches seem pretty good to go along with it. So I think if you're the Astros, you're looking at him and feeling pretty good about him, even though his track record is not that good. Last year he missed almost the whole season with a hamstring injury. Hurt his left hamstring after several starts and never pitched again last year.
Goes 1-1 on Nomar Mazzara. Yeah, well, the offseason moves that the Astros made, his kind of went very quietly under the radar. Signed him to a 2-year deal. It's 1-2 on Mazzara. They needed pitching. They knew that, and I think the market in the offseason for starting pitching was either real top shelf kind of stuff, money the Astros weren't really willing to spend, or guys like Morton who didn't draw the same kind of headlines. There's also a feeling around here that the Astros may be looking for additional starting pitching as the summer wears on.
Well, they've been praised for their drafts, their farm system. So they should have a number of good young players, and as the season goes on and as it develops, that might be something that they're in the market for. It appears they have the currency to go out and make that kind of a trade. If they need to, we'll see if they pull the trigger on that. That's one thing the Rangers have done over the last 6 or 7 years. When they've needed a player around the trade deadline, they've gone out and gotten them. Won the division 2 years in a row, been to the World Series a couple of times. One of the reasons is because they've been willing to make those kind of trades to bring in multiple players in multiple years to make sure that they're strong down the stretch and set up for the postseason.
Let me ask you this, Tom, when you were general manager and you were in that kind of a position, how early did those conversations start? We always talk about the July 31st trade deadline, but I'm sure those conversations start well.
They still start well before that, because really the trade deadline is a deadline, but if you can acquire your guy before that, that just gives you a better player to help your team with more games to go and a better chance to have him be more productive. The longer you wait, the less time you've got him for. So yeah, those trades sometimes take a while, because the teams that have the players that are desirable don't want to make the trade right off the bat with the first team that comes along. They want to wait and get the best deal they can.
A strikeout of Mazzara, and already, boy, a lot of chirping early. That's 3 called strikeouts, 4 total for Morton.
Well, let's take a look at this one. Boy, I guarantee you that's maybe touching the outside corner. and maybe high enough right at the knees. Again, that's the same pitch on the other side of the plate that Elvis and Delino were called out on. And you know, if you're a hitter, you're saying, man, if that's a strike, then the other side of the plate sure can't be a strike.
Mike Napoli swings at the first pitch, lifts this one high in the air down the left field line. Maybe playable for Aoki when he does have room. So a quick 1-2-3, top of the second. We played an inning and a half, no score.
Second inning here at Minute Maid Park, and we welcome you back, and we get to our State Farm winning combination for tonight, and it involves the Rangers starting pitcher, Nick Martinez. Nick's winning combination is clarity and trust. Clarity, he says, is his plan that he takes to the mound when he's had these successful starts, the two previous ones. And trust, he says, is the guys behind him. He's got to trust in those guys. Once the ball is put in play, they will do their jobs, and they will make his job a lot easier. Clarity and trust, a winning combination so far this year for Nick Martinez, guys.
Yeah, thanks, John. He gets Carlos Correa to
Yes, sir.
spoil the first pitch. Foul. It'll be Correa, Carlos Beltran, and then Brian McCann in the second inning. Martinez had him swinging in that first inning.
That last pitch is the one that struck out Elvis. It's the one that struck out Delino. It's basically on the other side of the plate, the one that struck out Mazzara. Touching the strike zone right on the other side of it. There's one just a little bit lower.
Yeah, and this is, you know, that's one thing when you have them called against you. Has been the case early, but you got to get them called for you as well. Now he keeps going a little lower. It's 3-1. But the early indications are that Rob Drake's going to give a little extra today, and so if Martinez can find that range just a little bit, he might get just a smidge off the edge. Correa just a .226 average. And he shoots this ball hard the other way, carrying toward that right field corner, and that one is gone. Third of the year for Correa. Astros lead 1-0.
Yeah, it'll sound like an excuse, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, early in the count, if you get the call on the low fastball away, then the count sets up much differently. Your pitch selection, your pitch location changes a little bit. And instead of the hitter being able to look for a fastball and you feeling like you need to throw a fastball for a strike because you don't want to walk the leadoff hitter, it adds up to a great hitter's count to a guy with power. So You know, that strike, the borderline pitch early in the count makes a huge difference to a pitcher and how it sets up the rest of the at bat.
1-0 to Beltran, and that one lifted high in the air, but not going to carry as deep. The Shields is over. Rua takes it from left, 1 away.
Yeah, Beltran last night hit a ball like that to the exact same part of the field, not quite as high, hit a little bit harder. That was to lead off the 8th inning. Rangers had a 2-run lead. That was the ball that hit the wall for a leadoff double that set up the huge inning.
So now McCann. McCann with the 3 home runs so far. He's been a pretty patient hitter. On base average right near 370, and a breaking ball from Martinez off the plate. Astros with the early lead on the Correa home run. Of course, they took the lead on Monday night, scored a first inning run before the Rangers would come back and take a lead all the way into the 7th. The story of this series, though, is in the last 3 innings of the game, both on Monday night and then yesterday. And it's 2-1. There's that
That's
strike.
the one we're talking about.
That's a magic pitch right there. That's the one you want all night long.
And you know, you can know that as a pitcher, but the biggest part of it is then being able to go out and execute the pitch and throw it there.
This ball ripped toward right field and into the seats. A line drive home run for McCann. Boy, there was a chance that would hit the wall, but just snuck out.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look like a home run off the bat. Looked like a hard hit line drive. Well, McCann played with the Yankees the last 3 years and averaged 20, 24 home runs a year. Short porch in Yankee Stadium in right field, and this right field for him is very similar. He hit that ball hard, barely high enough and long enough to sneak over the top of the wall.
Wow, 2 solo shots. Astros with the lead, and now Marwin Gonzalez. Martinez wasting no time. It's 1-1. The average for Gonzalez at 228. 17 RBIs, however, for him, and he'll shoot this one the other way. Back goes Rua, and that one off the out-of-town scoreboard. And Gonzalez will have a double. Thinks about more, and now he might be in trouble at second. But he's back in there.
Well, it sure looks like the ball is flying today. That looked like a soft line drive that Ryan might take a step back and catch easily. Obviously hit a little bit better than a soft line drive, and Gonzalez has shown his power in this series. He shot that right over Ryan's head and off the wall. Not a long way to hit that wall. A solidly struck ball, but he was able to get far enough to be a double. Gonzalez, now with 7 home runs, is tied for the lead in home runs on the Astros, and he has the most RBIs on the Astros with 17.
And on the one hand, you'd say to yourself, okay, well, somebody has to lead the team in those various categories. Could be anybody. Why not? Why not him? And the reality is, he's got the second fewest at bats of anybody on the team. But he has put up the big numbers.
The other reason why not is you might look at his track record and the track record of some of the other guys. But I guess if you would say any time during the season that Marwin Gonzalez is leading your team in home runs and RBIs, you'd say great. That's one guy we might not have predicted to do that. We know the rest of the guys are going to be good. So he's so far this season a huge bonus for the Astros.
What a night he had last night. Gonzalez, the grand slam. And it turned a deficit into a lead in the 8th inning. They would add another run. And it turns out the run they added in that 8th inning would be the difference, because the Rangers came back for a couple in the 9th, but still fell one short. Talking about Marlon Gonzalez last night.
Well, he showed some pretty good power the first time up. Took an outside fastball and drove it into the Astros bullpen. And then obviously the big one. Keone needed to throw a strike. He grooved the fastball and just barely fair down the right field line was the grand slam that Gonzalez hit. A big night. 2 home runs, knocked in 5.
Now homering from both sides of the plate. Like Lance Berkman would occasionally do here. I thought Marwin Gonzalez actually did it a couple years ago. I'll have to go back and look at that. That's the type of thing you see a lot. This one gets away into center field. The Shields were trying to make the throw to third, but no chance of getting Gonzalez. And he moves up on the error. So the error on Nick Martinez. And that's been a problem in this series too. Going back to Monday night, 3 errors in the game. Everybody up on the edge of the grass now. Bregman fouls it off the screen and into the seats. Stays 1-2. Not the start the Rangers were looking for, and incidentally, they're going to need innings out of Nick Martinez. After last night, Cole Hamels scratched from the start before the game even began. Bullpen heavily used yesterday, and some guys out there could use a rest. It's 2-2. If you missed it during the open of the broadcast today, John Radigan updating us on the fact that Hamels was placed on the disabled list today, retroactive to April 30th, but that's somewhat immaterial, that date, because it appears that he'll be out for the better of 8 weeks as he tries to rehab that strained right oblique muscle. 2-2 pitch, and this one up the middle. That's a base hit. Bregman drives home another run. Astros lead it 3-0.
Bregman got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but he's hit now in 6 straight games. Pretty nice job of hitting there. You certainly can't classify that as a bad pitch. It's a sinker down, in, and off the plate. And Bregman was able to golf that right off the barrel of the bat with authority into center field.
So a short conversation with pitching coach Doug Brocail. It was an 8-pitch first inning for Martinez, but you can see they're starting to add up now. 20 so far here in the second. Now the 9th place hitter, Norichika Aoki. Martinez needs a ground ball. Aoki putting up decent numbers, 306 average. Getting on base a little bit. That one just first off the plate. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, Aoki's one of those guys that I think there's probably a lot of pitchers that don't really love pitching to him. He's patient, and we talked about him in the first game. He'll kind of take a step toward first and slap the ball to left field, and he's able to spoil a lot of pretty good pitches by hitting line drives foul down the left field line.
And you just saw there, willing to bunt his way on as well. Joey Gallo aware of that at third base. He's been playing up close. Now 3-0, very much a hitter-friendly situation developing for Aoki. He's not swinging. He'll take ball 4, and so 2-men aboard. Hey, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. If you can't catch the games on TV, well, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app, presented by Hyundai. All right, so Bregman at second. Aoki at first, back to the top of the order. And George Springer, who bounced back to the mound in the first inning, 0 for 1 tonight.
And Nick was sharp in the first inning. He made a lot of good pitches and had about a 10-pitch inning, 1, 2, 3. Then he got behind Correa. Didn't get the call on a pretty good pitch. And Correa hit a home run. And since then, this inning, hasn't made the same pitches. Trying to find that groove and make a pitch and get a ground ball and get out of this inning.
Martinez has pitched well against the Astros in his career. In fact, this is his 5th start against the Astros, and his previous 4 had gone 3-0 with a 164 earned run average. In fact, he won 3 straight. He's got his hands full tonight. Gets ahead here, 0-2. Martinez, I think it was widely assumed, would make tonight's start. And this was going back a little better than 24 hours now. It was assumed he'd make this start. Probably be optioned tomorrow. But that's no longer going to be the case. The Rangers had kind of tweaked the rotation in such a way to get Martinez a start. J.D. Griffin in there as well. Would push Yu Darvish back into the weekend in Seattle. Darvish, who had thrown 125 pitches in his last start. So give him an extra day of rest. And the curveball hit well out toward left center. That one drops in, base hit. Here comes Bregman. He'll score. Springer with the RBI single makes it 4-0.
He found the open spaces out there in left field with a soft line drive single to left center field. Breaking ball jammed him a little bit, just kind of blooped it in front of the lineup. Well, the Astros making things happen. They're finding holes. They're hitting a lot of balls hard, and they're finding holes where the ones that they don't hit hard. At the 5-run 7th inning in the first game, a 5-run 8th inning last night, and it's a 4-run 2nd inning right now.
1 out in the inning. Here's Josh Reddick, who has put up good numbers against Nick Martinez in his career. Reddick, though, did fly out in the first. He's 0 for 1. Tapper second base. Odor to second quickly, and that will be the 1 out they get. So they force out Springer. But Aoki to third. Reddick stays, or rather replaces Springer on the bases.
Not hit hard enough to get a double play. And Nick is going to have to give innings today, so the best job he can do to keep his pitch count down will be beneficial. That one wasn't hit hard enough to turn. Well,
now Altuve, 9th hitter of the inning. Grounded out back of the first. And he takes strike one. There it is. A perfectly placed ball right on the outside corner. Altuve's been on a nice tear lately. You can pretty much drop into any game over the course of the summer and probably hear that same thing. Gets hot a lot and stays hot. Very, very good hitter.
Well, last night with men in scoring position, he swung at 3 straight sliders way out of the strike zone to strike out. Then against Keone in the big inning, he swung at a couple of them, but then laid off them and got the walk in that 5-run inning. Looked like he might be right in position to do the same thing, strike out and help Keone get out of the inning, but he laid off the pitch with 2 strikes and earned the walk.
And a hole here, 1 and 2. He's got Aoki at third, Reddick at first. .35th pitch of the inning, and this one bounced up the middle. Andrews will go to first base, and he gets Altuve inning over. But a 4-run second inning against Nick Martinez. All Astros early tonight. This one leading your Rangers 4-0. And we head to the third now. Well, our Kubota power stats for Charlie Morton. And we talked about the good outing he had last time out for the Astros. He finished that one by retiring 14 of the last 15 he faced. He's now on a stretch. He's put down 20 of the last 22 batters he has dealt with lately. So he has really settled in. And pumps one in there for a strike to Chu. Shin-Soo Choo, Ryan Rua, and then back to the top of the order, Delano DeShields. They play Chu to pull it to the right side in a curveball. Makes the count 0-2. You see the 3 infielders over that first base side of the diamond, and Bregman always lonesome over there at short, barely at short. One and 2 on Chu. Shin-Soo at 256 for the year. And home runs though, 11 driven in. A little tight. Now look at this. You know, we talk about the shifts for the Astros, and 294 of them coming into play tonight. Only the Rays have employed, you know, these very dramatic shifts. A check swing, 2 did not go. It's full count. So only the Rays have used more.
Stopped in plenty of time. No doubt about the call. Chu knew it. Still feels good to have the umpire verify your thoughts. Sometimes they don't.
Now the payoff in this one, hit on the ground right to short, where the third baseman Bregman was positioned, and Chu is out for the first out of the third. So one away here. Ryan Rule coming up, and we head down back again to John Radigan.
Yeah, Dave, talking to Jeff Bannister today, mostly about the news of Cole Hamels, and I asked him, I said, do you feel starting to feel a little bit snake bit? And he looked at me with incredulity in his eyes, and he said, snake bit? He goes, I don't even know what that is. He said, snake bit is the lament of losers. He said, we don't feel snake bit at all. We have to have a will to win. And he says he's going to make sure his players feel the same way. He said the key there is to have consistency in the message and consistency in the effort. And the message apparently right now, guys, they're not snake bit.
Well, good. I make sure I don't ask him the same question, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up on that. But I think that's the way a manager and the team have to look at it. Injuries happen. Noah Syndergaard got hurt. Sonny Gray's been out frequently the last couple of years. Teams lose their best players. Adrian Beltre's out, but as the skipper said, no one's feeling sorry for you, and we're not feeling sorry for anybody else. All you can do is you put the best guys you have out there, and you go as hard as you can every day and try to win as many ball games as you can every day. But I agree, if you start worrying about what you don't have, it's going to take away from the energy it takes to go out and play your best.
Martin's 1-2 pitch. It's high. Yeah, in both clubhouses today, I didn't hear anybody expressing any concerns over Corey Kluber and what the Indians might be thinking right now.
Right.
So it's a very fair point. But, you know, that said, from our standpoint, fans' standpoint, you know, that's exactly what you look at.
Yeah,
right?
well,
I mean, you're like,
I'm not saying a fan's not going to feel that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we might not feel that way, but the team can't allow themselves to feel that way.
Rua strikes out 5th of the day for Charlie Morton now into the top of the order for Delino DeShields.
And Morton threw that fastball before the breaking ball for strike 3 at 98 miles an hour. He's featuring some arm strength. I think that hamstring must be healthy this year.
That one a little tight on DeShields, who struck out looking in the first. Delino got ahead 3-0 in the count in the first inning. And then slowly but surely, Morton just chipped away on him. And some very close pitches that went his way. I don't recall Delino taking the bat off his shoulders in that at bat. He watched the 3 balls, then watched 3 strikes. Not uncommon for a leadoff guy to take a lot of pitches, and he's jumped ahead here 3-0. So that's 9 pitches, and he hasn't swung one yet.
I think Delino is really making an effort to be that kind of guy. He wants to be a leadoff hitter. I'm sure when he looks in the mirror, that's what he sees is a leadoff hitter. And he knows part of the job of a leadoff hitter is to see pitches, to get on any way he can. And he knows his strength is getting on base and stealing bases and scoring runs. So he's focused on that goal.
He swings and misses, and it's a full count. Well, Charlie Morton, 12 strikeouts in his last start. It was a rugged beginning to that start for him, but he finished strong. He started strong tonight. Well, the count stays 3-2. That last outing that we've mentioned for Morton, he'd given up 4 runs in the first inning and 2/3 of work. That was Friday against the A's. Then went on to retire 14 of the last 15 batters he faced. The first time in a couple of years that he had gone 7 innings. And he struck out that career high 12. Well, tonight he has come out. He has walked Rougned Odor. Has 5 strikeouts. Look at that line last Friday for him. And that's good. 8th pitch of the at bat to the Shields, and there will be a 9th. Delino, of course, was drafted by the Astros. And they spent a little time trying to figure out exactly how they were going to deploy his skills. Infield, outfield, second base, weren't real sure. Rangers took him in the Rule 5 draft, and he was fantastic a couple of years ago. Pops this one up into right field. Reddick makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Charlie Morton. We've played 2.5 tonight. Astros lead 4-0. Tonight as they get 4 runs in the second inning and now go to work in the bottom of the 3rd. Well, our AT&T pitching matchup tomorrow in the final game of this 4-game series. A.J. Griffin back on the mound. Appears to be healthy, ready to go. Joe Musgrove will have the ball for the Astros. And then the Rangers will be off to Seattle. Mick Martinez out for what could be a very critical inning tonight. He had to do a lot of extra work in that second. He could use a quick one here. It's 2-0.
And Nick threw 8 pitches in the first inning, 33 pitches last inning.
And there was a moment in that last inning where Anthony Bass had gotten up in the bullpen. So to give you an idea of the mindset in the dugout, that one lined into left field, a base hit for Correa, and he'll turn and go for 2. The throw coming back, cut off, and Correa's in there.
Now, several times today, Nick has caught the middle of the plate, and that's the case here. That looked like a cutter that started in a little bit and then cut right near the middle of the plate. That's the pitch in his last 2 starts. When he's thrown it, they've been on the outside corner, or if he missed, further outside and down much more than that. Still trying to get that command of his pitches in this game.
Now the first pitch lifted high into the air out into short right field. And that pop up tucked away. Beltran retired, 1 away. Time for us to take a Chevy game break. We send it back to the studios with Dana Larson. Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
there's something not right there, because generally you wouldn't get ejected no matter what the circumstances were on a hanging curveball. I think, the umpire knows that if someone's going to throw at somebody, they're not going to do it with a curveball. So we'll have to take a look at that, see what the situation was. That whole thing, it never should have happened.
Right.
The slide into second base by Manny Machado was a slide where his foot hit the bag, skipped off the bag, and went into Pedroia. Maybe you could call it a sloppy slide. It was a little bit too late, but there was absolutely no intent involved. You could tell the way Manny reached for Pedroia after the slide. Are you okay? And then afterwards, Pedroia had no problem with it. The rest of the team had a little bit of a problem with it, but the guy that deserves the blame is Matt Barnes, the relief pitcher, who, after it looked like it was all over, threw that 98-mile-an-hour fastball behind Machado's head. That's about as irresponsible as you can possibly get. And when that was over, Pedroia was seen going, hey, that's not me. I never had a problem with it in the first place. So, if you let Machado and Pedroia talk that out, nothing ever would have happened. And here it is, completely out of control. Although, if it was a hanging curveball tonight, that would not seem to be something that should have escalated the conflict.
Well, another Tapper foul off the bat of McCann in the count 1-2. Yeah, it is. Look, they took their shots immediately at Machado. They threw a number of pitches in at his legs, whatever. They took care of it. It was over, and now Sale goes in there yesterday and just sort of picks at a wound that really didn't need any picking. It was done.
Yeah, I've never seen so many pitches in the last couple of weeks go behind hitters. The pitcher is either trying to throw behind the hitter, or he misses when he's trying to hit the hitter. I don't know which one he's trying to do, trying to hit him and miss, or not trying to hit him and just throw it behind him. But it's such a dangerous spot, especially when it's above the waist and near the head, because you're used to getting out of the way of a pitch that's in front of you, and your normal reaction is to back away from it. When the ball's at your head going 95 miles an hour, it's an unusual move to have to move forward to get out of the way instead of backwards right into it.
McCann bounces this one right side. Andrews ranges over for it, throws him out, 2 away, but Correa moves to third.
But the one that Barnes threw at Machado's head was just so far out of line, it was ridiculous. And, the one that was thrown by McCullers to Knapp the other night. Knapp came right out and said, hey, look, we hit a couple of their guys, and if you feel like you have to retaliate, hit me in the hip, I'll put my bat down and go to first base. But when it's above the waist behind you, it's such a dangerous spot. That's what the hitter takes exception to, not the fact that the team feels like they should do something to retaliate. Players understand that part of it. I don't think there's any way that Andrew Cashner was throwing at anybody. He was just trying to throw in. But if you're the Astros, you say, okay, you're trying to throw in. But the bottom line is you just drilled 2 of our guys, and we feel like we need to do something to retaliate. Well, fine. Throw the ball in and hit someone in the hip, and it's over with. It just gets dangerous when you throw the ball behind somebody like that. But Andrew was successful in that game doing just that, throwing the ball in, getting ground balls, weakly hit ground balls, and occasionally you throw in and you miss, and that's part of the game. And sticking up for your teammates by the other team is part of the game as well. But throwing the ball at someone's head in those situations, that's not in the game, shouldn't be in the game plan. Barnes was just so far out of line, it was ridiculous. And I would be willing to bet that there was 24 other guys on his team that felt the same way. I know Pedroia felt that way.
One right in there for a strike now to Gonzalez. 1-2 the count. Well, and that was, Manny Machado after the game yesterday. The frustrations obviously boiled over, and you absolutely do not blame him. And he made the same point, continues to make the point. They all do. You just can't throw that kind of stuff up by a guy's head. That's not a game. I mean, that's serious business we're talking about.
Yeah, how many balls do you have to take thrown right at you. One behind your head, one behind your legs. There was also a couple of more that were inside because of a slide that the guy that was slid into, Pedroia, didn't have a problem with in the first place. Occasionally things happen on the field that are totally by mistake, totally innocent, and the players understand that. Most of them do anyway. But you know, you're a younger player trying to make a name for yourself. You think, okay, I'll throw one up near his head at 98 miles an hour, and everyone thinks I've got a lot of courage.
Now 4-3 putout ends the inning. The Astros leave a man at third, and so we go to the fourth inning. Rangers in a big hole. They're going to turn to the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Rougned Odor, Elvis Andrus, and Joey Gallo when we come back. The Rangers without a hit so far as we head to the fourth. 2, 3, and 4 coming though. Rougned Odor, Elvis Andrus, Joey Gallo. Rangers offense looking for a spark. Seems like a comment or concept we've touched upon a couple of times lately. You look at maybe some of the raw numbers, just runs scored, and you say, well, I don't know, they look all right. But the runs have come in somewhat lumpy distribution and so heavily dependent on the home run.
Speaking of home runs, I just checked between innings. You know who's got a home run in New York?
Let me guess. Is he a rookie?
He is.
His first name Aaron. This ball ripped into the right field corner, and that's going to be a long run for Reddick out there. Odor will cruise to second. He has a leadoff double.
Well, maybe it's just a coincidence, and maybe it's not. Rugi moved up to second in the order, and Banny said he wanted to maybe change the mental outlook of batting second as opposed to batting fourth or fifth. And in this game, Rugi has worked the walk, which is something he doesn't do often in the first inning, and then stayed right in on that breaking ball and ripped it to right field. So that's a good start to the game for Rugi. That's nice to see. Yeah, Matt Holliday, I think, hit his 300th home run, and then Judge hit a 2-run homer. Yankees are showing a pretty good ability to develop that kind of a player, the guy that comes up and just goes bonkers with home runs. Last year it was Gary Sanchez. I think he hit more in a short period of time than Judge has hit. He's been hurt. If he comes back as hot as he was last year, it's quite a young duo.
So man in scoring position for Andrus. And 1-0 pitch bounced up the middle. Flagged nicely by Correa, and the true throw retires his opposite number, 1 away. Odor, though, now down at third. So here we go, Tom. This is This has been part of what Jeff Bannister has talked about in this first month and change now of the season. A man at third, less than 2 outs. And this is where he feels like the home runs have been great, but you have to be able to produce a run in these spots.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call it small ball or what you want to call it, but there are times when the long ball is not there that doing something small is just as big.
That's where the strikeout can be such a such a bugaboo.
For sure. And you've got the infield back on the right side, so essentially all it takes is a ground ball anywhere. Bregman is right near third base, so between Bregman and Correa there's 120 feet for a ground ball to go through, and the right side, a ground ball with the infield back easily scores a run.
No balls, 2 strikes on Gallo, who struck out swinging in the first inning.
Morton has gone to the breaking ball. A lot of curveballs to Joey. And Morton has the mid-90s sinker, which is a great pitch for him, but also a pretty good curveball. In fact, in this game, a real good curveball. There's again.
Appeal that checks for no. Pat Holberg down at third. Says that Gallo did not go around.
Good call. Came close, but he stopped in time.
1-2 the count. Well, it's a 4-run deficit. Get it all back on one swing. Door down at third, 1 away. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Yeah, it was a good pitch.
After all the curveballs, he pounded that 95-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner. Perfect pitch. And it's very difficult to be ready for that pitch after the softer pitches earlier in the count.
6 strikeouts now for Morton. It'll be up to Jonathan Lucroy with 2 out. Door opened with a double. And that is 1 strike on Lucroy. Strikeouts have been the enemy lately. Rangers with 59 strikeouts in their last 5 games coming in. They've already struck out 6 times tonight, not quite through 4 innings. One and one the count. So Morton's had that going tonight. Had the 12 strikeouts his last time out. He has walked a man tonight. One of the guys, when you look to the lineup today, and if you were Morton looking for one guy against whom you've had a little success, it's Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy 2 for 17 in his career against Morton. Those two face each other quite a bit in the National League, and he hits this ball up the middle. Correa able to get to it. Well, in the inning, a leadoff double by Odor, but he's stranded at third. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Astros having it their way tonight. The baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile, and this one, wow, a lot of pitching dominating the storylines. Ervin Santana continuing to deal, and at a 0.66 ERA. About 10 major league starters with earned run averages under 2, Tom. That's pretty impressive.
Sure is. Yeah, Ervin Santana's been unbelievable.
Chris Sale strikes everybody out. His 63 leads Major League Baseball, and even the White Sox, a 311 team earned run average. Wow. Last year, though, it seems like the White Sox were in a similar situation. Started the season brilliantly, and then it became a very long summer on the South Side. Well, there's kind of a caveat to a lot of what we talk about this time of year, is that it is early. Nick Martinez, his first pitch, that one into left field, a base hit for Bregman, and he's 2 for 2.
Got an off-speed pitch, breaking ball that stayed up, allowed Bregman to get a good piece of it. Stayed on the inside part of the plate rather than down and away. Talking about Aoki being such a pesky hitter in his major league career, he's walked almost as much as he struck out. 205 walks, 214 strikeouts coming into this season. So he doesn't walk a lot. He walks a fair amount, but definitely doesn't strike out very much either.
Oh, he's going to put a little pressure on a defense, put a ball in play. He did walk in the second inning. He had to start here Monday night, and Naoki walked, had an infield hit, and that one a big infield hit in that 5-run 7th inning. And he's part of, you look at what the Astros have done, they've lengthened that lineup. It's a lineup that can do damage from 1 through 9, and they have so far this year. It's interesting, reading today some comments from Carlos Beltran after the game yesterday. He said, well, once we get some guys kind of clicking in this order, we think we could really start scoring some runs. And I'm thinking to myself, what? You're hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position as a group. And a number of guys who have really swung the bat well. But to his point, there are a lot of guys, you look at the numbers, you think, well, they probably can get better.
Yeah, they've got a good lineup. You can't take that away from them. Good blend of young and veteran.
Manager A.J. Hinch has a lot to work with over there.
They lead the league in hits. They lead the league in hitting with men in scoring position. I guess the one thing they might be able to do more often is hit home runs as you go forward. Some of them.
Runner going, and Aoki fights that one off. So the hit and run was on, and Aoki got a piece of it. It's 2-2. Now the Rangers set up looking for that ground ball and a chance to turn 2 here. Andrus and Odor both in maybe a step and a half in their normal depth. Runner gets a big jump this time, and Aoki serves it to center field. The Shields is there, makes the catch, and Aoki is hung out to dry. He hadn't even gotten back to second base yet. Doubled off. Pardon me, Bregman doubled off, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, Aoki on the hit and run hit that ball solidly to center field. Bregman takes off. I guess it's a hit and run. Never looked. Generally on a hit and run, the runner looks back. Maybe it was just a straight steal. In any event, Bregman has no idea where the ball is. And once he went around second base, he had very little, unless he wanted to cut by the pitcher's mound, he had very little chance to get back to first. That's one way to turn a double play.
Yeah, so the base is empty now, and here's George Springer. Springer 1 for 2 tonight. Comebacker and then an RBI single in the second. So an 8-3 put out at first that erased Bregman. Line out by Aoki. Martinez catches a little bit of a break, and Martinez could use a break or two. Rangers need to see him get deep into this ball game tonight.
That was a much better cutter. In his first 2 starts, that cutter was a frequent pitch in that location. Today, not quite as much. But there's a couple of them, and exactly where he wants to throw them.
They had a Springer 0-2. And so far tonight, no strikeouts yet for Nick Martinez. Very early stages of this Lone Star series. Kind of in the bizarro Lone Star series, at least what we're used to in recent years. Last year, in recent years for the Astros, their whole gig was they'd hit some home runs, strike out an absurd number of times, but try and stay in games and hope that they could hit one out. And lost some heartbreaking games to the Rangers. Well, that has been the story of this series, but in reverse. 2-2. The Astros with big comebacks the last couple of nights. Break at the heart of the Rangers, and the Rangers a lot of strikeouts and home runs, but not quite enough to get any wins out of these first 2 games. This ball hit hard out to left field, but right there for it is Rua, and the inning is over. So Martinez faces the minimum in the 4th. We're going to the 5th inning tonight, 4-0 Houston. With the lead as we go to the 5th inning, and in support of Mental Health Month this May, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and their commitment to replacing stigma with hope and improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. To learn more about how to be stigma-free, visit foxsportsupports.com. All right, so here we go to the 5th. Rangers trailing 4-0. They have just 1 hit off that guy, Charlie Morton. And Morton has racked up 6 strikeouts in the early going tonight, including one of Omar Mazara, who is at the plate to lead off this 5th inning. Mazara went down looking in the second. In fact, to the first 4 strikeouts, 3 of them were looking. 4 of the 6 tonight have been looking, and a backdoor breaking ball makes it 1-1 on Nomar. Martin's 33 years old, and this is his 10th big league season. Mentioned earlier, he's primarily been a National League pitcher. first 9 years, all in the National League. Came up with the Atlanta Braves, then spent the better part of his career with the Pirates, last year with Philadelphia. And had one previous start against the Rangers. That came back in 2009, his rookie year, when he came up with Atlanta. And on June 19th, gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. And his start against the Rangers, a game that the Rangers eventually won over Atlanta 5-4. This one hit hard and into right field, a base hit for Nomar Mazara. Good start to the 5th. Time for us to check in once again with John Radigan.
Yeah, Dave, as Mike Napoli comes to the plate, I talked to him earlier today about this offensive malaise that the team finds itself in, and he says there's really only one way to get out of it, and that's for the individuals that are struggling to stop thinking about themselves, stop concentrating on their own problems, and think about the team. Now, it's kind of a conundrum because, of course, if the individual is better, then the team is better, but he says the focus must be team. That's the only way to get out of it. He says one of the reasons, though, that it's been difficult to get out of it is normally there's 1 or 2 guys in a lineup struggling. In this lineup, he admits there are like 7 struggling. They all, though, need to focus in the right direction. Knapp says that's definitely on the team, not the individual.
All right, thanks, John. It has been
one of the guys that's been struggling has been Nomar, but he had a couple of hits and a walk last night, and the ball he just hit to right field is the hardest hit ball that he's hit since the first week of the season. It's a mid-90s fastball, great swing, one of those 107 or 8 mile-an-hour exit velocities, just ripped it into right field. So that's a good sign. Obviously the offense clicks if Nomar gets hot. A lot better when Nomar gets hot, like he was earlier.
Napoli shoots this one to center field. Springer coming on. It drops in front of him. So back-to-back singles in the 5th inning.
Morton did his job. Got the fastball in on the fist, but Knapp did his too. Fought it off and dumped it in front of Springer.
So maybe an opportunity building in this 5th inning. Couple of men on. Nomar is at second. Napoli is at first. Here is Chu. Morton misses with his first offering. Chu has hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games and has a couple of home runs, a triple in there, 4 RBIs. A lot of the outs recently for Chu have been very hard outs. We're talking about that ball that Mazara hit earlier in the inning being one of the more well-struck balls that we've seen off his bat lately. And I'd say that, you know, Chu lately has been the victim a couple times of those 100+ mile-per-hour shots off the bat that have just found gloves.
Well, I could see Andrelton Simmons in the Anaheim series diving up the middle to take a line drive away from him. And I can remember a center fielder running one down right in front of the wall in right center field that he hit. So, yeah, that's just a couple that come to mind.
Tonight, grounded out in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Martin's 2-1 pitch right in there. Ryan Rua waits on deck. Chu has faced Morton before. In fact, he's 2 for 3 against the Astros right-hander. Looks like it might be a favorable matchup for him, the left-handed hitter, but he takes a breaking ball for strike 3.
There's that spot right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Well, 5 of the 7 strikeouts have been looking.
And I'm not sure about all 5, but at least 3 or 4 out of the 5 have been right at the bottom of the strike zone. A couple of them right on the corner. Borderline pitches. Tough to hit.
Rua struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. It's a 4-0 Astros lead. But after Rua hits his home run here, it'll be a 1-run game. Ryan getting the start today in left field. The Shields moved over into center, so it was an off day today for Carlos Gomez. He gets a day just to relax. This one out toward left center field, drops in, base hit. That brings Mazzara home. Napoli heads to 3rd. And Rua gets the Rangers on the board with a base hit.
Well, Dave, it wasn't a home run, but we'll take it.
Not turn anything down now.
No. And nice job of base running by Mike Napoli, too. We say it all the time. You don't have to be a sprinter to be a good base runner. And Nap challenged the outfielders on this little blooper. He's running all the way. A little jam shot. Blooped into center field. Easily scores Mazzara. And watch Nap. He's going to see it right in front of him and just keep going right in front of the center field, right in front of the outfielder on his way to 3rd base, where he can score on a fly ball right now, pick up another run. So good base running by Nap. Good job.
All right, now to Shields, who's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Ooh, that one almost got him. Way in on the hands. The Shields in his first 2 at-bats saw 15 pitches. Struck out looking at the 1st. And then flied out to right in the 3rd. Both times came up with nobody on base. Good competitive at-bats against Morton. It's 1-1. Now up here in a spot where he can drive in a run. He's looked very comfortable in the leadoff spot. He's done a great job there. And here's that sweeping curveball for a strike.
That's been a good pitch for him tonight. He's thrown a lot of curveballs.
Napoli 3rd, Rua 1st. 1 run is in. And a slow bouncer foul. It'll stay 1-2 on to Shields. Interesting for Martin now. That pitch count beginning to elevate just a little bit. As he moves past 80 for the night. You see inning by inning. Every other inning is represented a little extra work for him. Rangers making him work in this 5th, and DeShields hits this one in the air left field. Now Oki has 3 outfield assists. Napoli tags. He's going to test the arm. The throw coming to the plate. Got him. It ends the inning. Rangers will have to settle for the 1 run on 3 hits. And Aoki leads the American League in outfield assists. We're halfway there.
Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Nori Aoki plays it perfectly, gets behind the ball, charges it. He's not that deep, so it doesn't take a powerful throw, but it takes an accurate throw, and he delivers it to McCann on the money and gets another assist from left field. So he knows how to play left field here. Most of his throws aren't long throws, but he still mechanically does it correctly, and he does it accurately. So nice job. That was our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and it was delivered very nicely.
Josh Reddick will lead off the bottom of the fifth for the Astros. Reddick, Altuve, and Correa. Houston leading 4-1. So the Rangers got to run back in that fifth inning. Reddick. Time now for AARP's Getting to Know. One of 3 major league outfielders with a WAR, win over replacement, better than 2.4 over the last couple of years. And the other 2 guys are names you're familiar with, Mike Trout and Carlos Stanton. So Reddick puts himself in some pretty good company there. He draws a walk in the 5th.
Well, the Rangers in this game, it's 4-1. But Dave, you were talking earlier about Jeff Bannister, maybe John Radigan was, talking about getting runners in from third base and doing the things that are important for team play. And twice today, the Rangers have had a man on third base and have been unable to get him in. Otherwise, score what might be 4-3 instead of 4-1. Critical situations. And Knapp did a nice job with his base running to get to third base. But then the most important part is getting him in, and the Rangers weren't able to do that. And credit Aoki with being the reason why.
He's holding Reddick over there at first. And Martinez off the plate to Altuve. Altuve twice has grounded out to shortstop. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with Reddick during this at bat. Will they maybe put him in motion and try to eliminate the possibility of a double play? The fact that Altuve has twice hit it to Elvis Andrus might make them more likely to do that. Ooh, a high strike, and it's 1-1 to Altuve. Toss over there to keep Reddick a little bit closer. And Martinez has made a couple of nice moves toward first on him.
Well, having been a middle infielder in college, he has quick feet, and that's one of the reasons he's is able to deliver that pickoff throw quickly to first base. Quick feet. And it is again.
So he continues to work on Reddick. The count 1-1 on Jose Altuve. He's ahead of him with a ball and 2 strikes. Had 2 double plays today that involved assists by outfielders. Last inning, it was the Rangers turning the double play. And DeShields hauled in the line drive from Aoki and threw back to first to double up Alex Bregman. And then in the top of the 5th inning, it ended when DeShields flied out to left field, and Napoli was gunned down trying to tag up and score from third. Bouncer, shortstop again. Andrus to second. The relay from Odor in time.
Boy, I didn't think they were going to be able to turn that with Altuve running. I thought they're just going to settle for an out at second base, but great job by Elvis and Rugi turning it to get Altuve.
Well, I'm with you. Just that natural clock you have, you would think, oh, I don't think they're going to get him. But the Astros looked at it quickly back in their clubhouse. They said, no, we're not going to challenge it.
Not like Altuve was loafing to first base. He never does that. Just a case of a really nice job of turning a double play. Rangers over the years have been among the best at doing that.
So now Carlos Correa has to bat with the bases empty. Correa started the scoring tonight in the second inning. He hit the solo home run to open the second. Eventually 9 batters would come to the plate and 4 runs would score. Rangers have been leading the American League in ground ball double plays turned at 36 coming to play yesterday. Got another one today. Their second double play, but only their second on the ground. And last night, I think they turned a double play last night, but again, never mind. No double plays yesterday. It's a pitch a little low, and it's 3-1. Defense has helped these last couple of innings. And a comebacker over the mound. Andrews cuts it off and then can't get it out of the glove cleanly. Correa is aboard. 2 out in the inning. And that one very well may go as a base hit. That is base hit, so he has just a triple shy of the cycle. And the home run and the double in the third, and now the infield hit. So Correa having a big night tonight. He's at first. Beltran's been up there hacking tonight. He takes one. Flying out to left, flying out to right.
Now Beltran's 40 years old now. Last year with New York and Texas, he hit .295, hit 29 home runs, and knocked in 93 runs at age 39. 20 year.
1-1 now. The other day we saw him get the double that tied him with Pete Rose, the 3rd most extra base hits among switch hitters. Bouncer back to the mound. Martinez fields his position nicely, takes care of Beltran, inning over. So the Astros get a hit but leave him out there. We'll go to the 6th inning. 4-1 Houston. By Sonic Drive-In. Tonight's jackpot worth $800 plus dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. Tonight the Rangers are hitting for Cheryl Jacobini from Fort Worth. Now if a Texas Ranger hits a home run this inning, Cheryl will win $800. If they hit a grand slam, Cheryl wins $25,000. So a lot on the line here in the 6th. Rangers trailing by 3, and they will send their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Odor has made it aboard both times he has come up against Morton. He walked in the 1st, he doubled in the 4th. So very interesting response by Rugi today, moving into that 2-hole in the lineup. And it's a spot in the lineup that he has enjoyed over the years. And he hits this ball sharply into right field. That's a base hit. His bat shatters, but he'll turn first, hold there with a leadoff single. All right, great start to the 6th. We send it back to the studios. Dana Larson on a Chevy game break.
Well, Judge has another at bat in that game, so probably won't end up 6-5.
That's a good point. Odor over at first, and
a good game for Rugi too. We mentioned his last time up when he had the double on the breaking ball after a walk. First pitch hitting. Unusual hit right there. Looked like it jumped off his bat pretty well, and the bat broke right in half. Generally, when you break the bat in half, the ball doesn't jump off like that. But the key on both those hits, he got a curveball over the middle of the plate and a fastball that he could handle. I think for the most part, in a lot of the games where Rugi struggled, it was because he has swung at impossible pitches to hit out of the strike zone. So if he can zero in on strikes, then obviously his average will take off.
he's going. The pitch is inside on Andrews. The throw down to second. Got him. Wow. There's some sense that maybe the Rangers would be able to run on the Astros in this series, but they have done a good job of keeping them in check.
A nice play by Altuve on that ball that bounced, and he caught the hop and made the tag. Ruby's looking in. I'm not sure if it was a straight steal or he thought it was a hit and run. Didn't look like a hit and run. Elvis never attempted to swing at it, although it would have been very difficult to swing at that pitch if it was a hit and run, as high and tight as it was. But as it turned out, McCann gunned him down.
Now 2-1 on Elvis Andrews. Andrews has struck out and grounded out tonight. All right, our TXU Energy Power player to watch. 4 career home runs against the Astros, all of them here, including one last night. It's a full count. Now Morton taking a little extra time between pitches at this stage of the game, walking back behind the mound. Nearing 90 pitches for the night. And Andrews will make him work a little bit. So here's a note on the Aaron Judge home run for you, Tom. You'll appreciate this one. The only other right-handed hitting outfielder to hit 13 homers in his team's first 26 games. He was not a rookie at the time. Is a Hall of Famer by the name of Willie Mays. Did it for the Giants in 1964. Wow. Walk for Andrews. Now our big story, and this goes a little bit beyond Aaron Judge. How about that yesterday? 41 home runs in 15 games. What? 7 guys who had more than one?
Guys are going deep and guys are striking out. Which I guess if you tie them both together, as guys are going up there going for it, and if they come up short, so be it.
3 games yesterday had at least 6 home runs ahead. We saw it last night. The Rangers hit 5 home runs, and they lost. They came up short 8-7. It was the 67th time the Rangers hit 5 or more home runs in a game. And it's another one of those numbers that kind of makes you stop dead in your tracks, Tom. But their record now is 66-1 in games in which they have homered at least 5 times.
Wow. I wouldn't know it was 66-1, but I would figure it'd be very good.
Yeah.
Tough to hit 5 home runs and lose.
1 out here. Andrus is at first. Rangers only trailing by 3. And Gallo up there, and he takes a big rip. This game has a strange feel to it. The way the Astros jumped on the Rangers for 4 runs in that second inning, and just sort of building on the momentum of the last 2 comeback victories for them. One might not have been feeling real good about their chances, but as this game wears on, chipped away for a run in the 5th. Morton beginning to tire. In the sense that might be well in this game.
No, the Rangers have had some chances to make it closer than 4-1. We talked about twice with a man on third base and less than 2 outs. Had a man thrown out at the plate. Rudy was just thrown out stealing. Elvis then walks. The Rangers have had a chance to get closer than 4-1. Hanging in there. Nick's done a nice job after that 4-run inning, 3 shutout innings since then.
Not much of a lead for Andrus at first. Gallo yanks it foul. Now stays 1-2. Now he's 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Mentioned earlier, it's just the 2nd start in Gallo's career as a cleanup hitter. One-two pitch, and that one bounces up there. Now Chris Tavensky, a workhorse for the Astros, who has been so good for them warming up. There you see it. Morton probably getting right near the end of the line. Gallo strikes out. 2 away in the inning.
Well, Joey's seen a lot of curveballs in this game. And again, Morton's had a good curveball. That's why he's thrown so many of them. He knew he didn't have to throw that, didn't want to throw that for a strike, and it was a wise choice.
So now Jonathan Lucroy. Morton, you saw the average number of pitches per outing. The longest he has gone this year, 101 pitches. He's managed to get Lucroy to bounce out to the left side of the infield twice so far tonight. The 2nd most pitches he's had to throw this year in a game. Even to count at 1-1 on Lucroy. Well, the bullpen for the Astros has been pretty good. They've got some guys that they're able to run out who have been very stingy this year. Rangers have at times built a little something in the late innings, but the Astros have managed to have just enough. The first 2 games anyway. Andrus is aboard. And Lucroy hits this one to the right side. Altuve able to get on top of it and retires Lucroy. The inning is over. So the Rangers have a hit. They leave another man. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Astros lead by 3. to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, indoors tonight, but it doesn't mean it can't rain inside. The way this roof closes here at Minute Maid Park, there are spaces sometimes between the panels where the rain can come through, and that is the case way out in center field, out there by the big H. Maybe between that H and the Oxy sign out there. In any case, not impacting play on the field as Nick Martinez comes out and misses with a curveball to Brian McCann. It'll be McCann, Marwin Gonzalez, and Alex Bregman in the 6th. Martinez was wobbling a little bit in that second inning earlier tonight, but has done a great job now getting into this 6th inning. You see Dario Alvarez preparing for what may be his eventual addition to this game, but nice job by Martinez to get this deep, all things considered. McCann hit a home run, one of a couple of homers in that second. It's 3-1. McCann acquired by the Astros in the offseason, a trade with the Yankees for a couple of prospects. And that one is inside, ball 4. He will take the walk. And Anthony Bass has jumped up out there as well. So double barrel action for the Rangers. And that leadoff walk enough to get Doug Brocail's attention. Here he comes. So this may be buying time as much as anything else. Leadoff walk lately has been an indicator that a guy is pretty much done. And we have seen a lot of that in these first couple weeks of the season, so they continue to fire it up out there. Brocail and his conversation done, and the switch hitter Marwin Gonzalez, 1 for 2 tonight, will be ready to go. There you see the line for Nick Martinez. When the Rangers need him to get as deep as possible, but he is approaching 90 pitches. Batting 7th tonight. Gonzalez had a big night yesterday. 5 RBIs, the grand slam. And a solo home run, homing from both sides of the plate. It's 1-1. His grand slam last night was the first for the Astros since last July in Seattle, when the Astros got a grand slam by, well, a fella wearing a Rangers uniform tonight, Carlos Gomez, hit the last one. This ball hit well to center field. Back to Shields, to the wall, and it's gone.
Well, we've seen Gonzalez the last couple of nights hit a couple of balls pretty hard with a smooth swing. Gonzalez obviously not known as a power hitter. Last year in 141 games he hit 13 home runs. But he goes to dead center field on a pitch out over the plate and drives it 415 feet. He looks a lot more like a home run hitter this year than at any time in his career. Last night he hit one right-handed to right center field into the Astros bullpen. Ball's jumping off his bat right now.
Well, that's a big home run too. Makes it a 5-run lead. What a series for Marwin Gonzalez. 4 consecutive starts now with at least 1 home run. Jeez. Always talk about Aaron Judge. Come on. Not the guy that you would have circled on the rosters, the one you have to be most concerned with, but he has 10 RBIs on this homestand now. He's played a very big hand in this series. Bregman has a couple of hits tonight as well. And the 2-1 popped up. Odor appears to have a beat on it at second base. 1 away. I'll bring up Aoki. Hey, the next Ozarka online ticket Thursday is May 11th. Rangers taking on the Padres. Tickets for all Thursday home games are half price in Upper Reserved, Upper Box, and Lexus Club Terrace. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials. Use coupon code Ozarka to redeem this offer. I don't know why it feels like every time I look up, Aoki's at bat. It's just his 3rd at bat of the night, but there he is again. Walk. Line out so far for him. And it's 0-2.
He hasn't done anything offensively yet in this game, but he had a nice defensive play at an important time in the game when he gunned down Knapp at the plate on the potential sacrifice fly. Let's look at it again. Delano gets a hanger, but he hits it off the end of the bat, so it doesn't go very far. And Aoki, playing shallow to begin with, catches it on the run, and in the key, he makes a 1-hop accurate throw to complete the play. Second throw he's made in this series accurately to get an out at the plate. Not long throws, but they were effective. Didn't have to be long.
It's impossible, really, to get a long one from that left field. Count stays 2-2 on Aoki. Boy, the weather getting nasty out there. Seeing big flashes of lightning, and occasionally you might hear a big clap of thunder out there. I mean, it's really coming down. The bender for Martinez runs the count full on Aoki. That's 100 tonight now for Nick. You see that big 33 in the second inning. That was his undoing tonight. Bouncer over to third. Gallo, that's his first chance, and he bobbles it.
It looked like a routine ball. Then the last hop it took bounced straight up. I'm sure it surprised Joey. It didn't look like that kind of a ball was going to take that kind of a hop. He just kind of slaps at it. The same ball where you'd run to first and hit to left. I don't know if it hit the lip of the grass. Whatever it was, it bounced high and surprised Joey.
Well, that error is going to be the end of the night for Nick Martinez. Jeff Bannister takes the baseball, and we go to the bullpen. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 Astros. 6-1 Astros. We're only in the bottom of the 6th inning. Our next post-game fireworks show will be Friday, May 12th. Head on out to the ballpark. The Rangers face the Oakland A's and stay after the game for a fireworks show set to the music of the Beatles. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So Nick Martinez done tonight after 101 pitches. He leaves a man at first with 1 out for Anthony Bass, who just rejoined the team today, his second stint with the Rangers. Pitched in that series against the Twins not long ago and allowed 6 runs in 3 innings of work in his only outing. He made 4 relief outings at Round Rock, and his first pitch to Springer misses low. It'll be Springer and potentially Josh Reddick with 1 out in this 6th inning. Noriaoki, the man at first, reached on the error a moment ago. Second error of the night by the Rangers, who have scored a run on 5 hits. Astros have scored 6 runs on 9 hits. This one fouled away, and the count 1-1. Bass, 29 years old and formerly of the Houston Astros. He pitched here in 2014. Appeared in 21 games in relief last year, or rather, well, last year was in Japan, but prior to that in 15, pitched in 33 games with the Rangers. As we mentioned already, his second time through town. He called up as Cole Hamels placed on the disabled list earlier today. Hamels back in Arlington being treated by Dr. Keith Meister. Hamels on the disabled list with that strained right oblique.
They're hoping for the best when Cole walked off the bullpen mound, but as it turned out, 8 weeks, a long time.
A lot of questions today for Jeff Bannister about the situation for his ball club. A guy like Hamels down. A lot of parallels drawn to 2015, where notably, you see the news on Hamels there. In spring training when Yu Darvish went down in 2015, and comments at the time. This one hit out toward right field. Back on it. Mazzara, he'll take it off the fence. Aoki to third. They'll wait it. Here's a throw from Odor, and he's underneath the tag. Springer gets all the way to third base. But Aoki scoring from first with a 1 out on that ball off the base of the fence and right.
It's a team attack in this game tonight. Springer's had a couple of hits. He's had 2 RBI hits. Pretty nice job of hitting right there. It looked like a cutter on the outside part of the plate. Maybe not even a strike. But he showed the power that he has going to right field with that ball. And on the throw home and the attempted out at the plate, Springer trots over to third base. So Aoki with a hook slide sneaks his foot in there.
This ball hit by Reddick high in the air down that right field line, caught by Mazzara, tagging Springer. Here comes the throw, the tag. The ball got away. Springer in safely. 8-1 Astros. Sac fly for Reddick.
That was one of those borderline as far as the distance goes, but of course Springer has excellent speed at third base. You knew he was going to try to score. Reddick hit it right off the end of the bat. Omar catches it near the line. It's a strong throw. but it's a tough play for Lucroy behind the plate because he's looking out toward right field. He's got to catch the hop, and then he's got to turn, find the base runner, find the plate, catch the ball, make the tag. A lot of things going on there that made it difficult to complete. But pretty nice throw by Nomar from right field.
So the base is empty now with 2 out. Altuve 0 for 3. Comes ahead of here. 2 balls, no strikes. So we close the book on Nick Martinez now. 5 1/3 innings. And allowed 7 runs on 9 hits. Walked 3. No strikeouts for him. Anthony Bass has given up a run so far. 2-1. Couple of big innings tonight. 4 runs in the second. Now 4 runs in this 6th inning. Bass trying to get us to the 7th. Came into the series. Astros had gotten off to a great start. Astros off to a franchise best start right now with 18-9 coming into play today. Their lead in the division, 3.5 games over the Angels. And a breaking ball popped up back to first into foul ground, and Napoli takes care of it. Inning is over, but 4 more runs score for the Astros, and they have opened up a big lead as we go to the 7th. Wow, 2 big innings tonight for the Astros. Home runs aplenty. Correa, McCann, Marwin Gonzalez again. And then a real good start by Charlie Morton. Allowed a run on 5 hits. Struck out 8 in his 6 innings of work. And so this one all Astros tonight on top 8-1 as we go to the 7th inning. And Tony Sipp is the newest pitcher in the ballgame.
Well, Tony Sipp, the only lefty out in the bullpen. They have 7 right-handers, 1 lefty. Fairly slow start for Tony Sipp, but he gets a comfortable outing right here. Try to get some innings under, an inning or 2 under his belt.
Both teams into the bullpens now.
Sipp's pitched 4 2/3. He's walked 5 batters in 4 2/3, given up some hits too.
He'll face a left-hander Nomar Mazara, then the righty Napoli and a lefty in Chu in this 7th inning. It's 1-1. couple of big 4-run innings tonight. I mean, they've done it with power. They've strung together some hits. Coming in that this Astros team had been playing well. And there were a lot of reasons why you would have respect for what they have been able to accomplish in this early part of the season. A.J. Hinch, I think, feeling very confident in the group that they've put together here. It's still some things they perhaps would address, but pretty good.
Yeah, they've got some good things going for them. They've got good team speed and they play excellent defense. They've got 4 terrific defensive outfielders. Aoki, when he plays left, is solid, and the rest of them are all very capable outfielders. Reddick is a solid right fielder. Springer, call him Spider-Man, great right fielder, can also play center. Marisnik's an outstanding center fielder. And the young infielders are all terrific. Altuve's a well above average second baseman. Strike 3 right there. Bregman was a #1 draft racer as a shortstop. He's playing third base. Of course, Correa, one of the bright young players in the league. They play good, solid defense, good team speed.
When they tore this thing down during the 2012 season, the idea was they were targeting 2017, and they arrived a little early in 2015. And it was a little bit of a surprise to everybody in baseball. It was certainly a surprise here in Houston. They knocked out of that postseason a little earlier than they would have liked, but they knew at the time that they were out a little bit in front of their target. Last year, didn't enjoy quite the same success. But now suddenly, you mentioned a lot of the young players, the core that they drafted, developed, traded for. This year they finally went out and they added some real pieces. And they do seem to be a team prepared to not just compete in this division and for this division title, but a team that maybe feels like they could go deep into the postseason.
Yeah, and the question, if you're talking deep into the postseason, is going to be their starting pitching depth after Dallas Keuchel. Lance McCullers is solid, but he's got to prove that he can stay healthy over 6 months in a postseason.
What do you need now in a postseason? 3 starters? Would you be comfortable with that?
Well,
That's plenty, right?
You could definitely win with 3. You know, the Rangers are set up with Hamels and Darvish. If you have 2 aces like that, that's a great start. In a 5-game series, they're probably going to pitch 4 of the 5 games. And the depth in postseason is not quite as important as it is during the season. You don't need 5, that's for sure. I think most teams in a 7-game series, if it goes 7 games, will use 4. Use their 4th starter once.
Last year, the Indians took the Cubs to Game 7, and basically 2.5 starters is another strikeout. And that is the 10th tonight.
One of the biggest differences between the Astros this year and last year is going to be Dallas Keuchel, who's pitching like he did 2 years ago when he was a Cy Young winner. Last year, I don't think he was ever 100% for most of the year. I heard him talking on MLB this afternoon in an interview, saying he feels great, better than he did last year. Made a concerted effort in the offseason for conditioning and being ready. He obviously is 5-0 to start the year. So that kind of a pitcher in the postseason can go a long way to your postseason success, especially if you pitch him on 3 days rest. And he starts 3 times in a 7-game series. Indians tried that last year with Corey Kluber. Didn't have quite the same stuff the 3rd time as he did the first 2.
Now, Keuchel, a couple years ago, Cy Young Award, and already this year, look at the numbers this year. 5-0, a 121. He was the pitcher of the month. And I just think having a guy like that, as dominant as he has been, man, that really gives a lot of confidence. It seems to radiate through a clubhouse when you have a guy pitching that well.
I was also interested in listening to him talk about how he grooms his beard. They were talking. One of the guys asked him how he shampoos his beard. And he says, well, you know, I've had great success with Head and Shoulders. He went into a lot of the details and how he grooms that. So nice job there, big guy. Looks great on you.
1-2 from Sip. Chu tonight, 0 for 2. He took strike 3 in the 5th inning. We've seen 2 strikeouts this inning. How about this? Rangers have taken 13 called strike 3s in this series. The Astros have struck out a total of 9 times in this series.
Well, you mentioned earlier that's a big change from past years where they struck out a lot. They're doing it quite as much now.
Sips 2-2. And Chu stays alive.
The Rangers coming into the game had struck out in the last 3 games 15 times, 12 times, and 16 times. And tonight they've struck out 10. They've struck out 53 times in 4 games. That's an issue, and that's something that they have to improve on.
Sip in relief of Charlie Morton. 2-2. That's a full count. Lefty on lefty for the 2nd time in the inning for Sip, and he loses Chu. Amazing. He watched some close pitches, and he is so adept at that, though. Chu working the count and ultimately getting himself on base. This is a night too where we have seen plate umpire Rob Drake give a little bit here and there on the edges, so just a very disciplined eye by Chu. And here's Ryan Rua. Rua was 1 for 2 off Charlie Morton.
Coming into the game, the Rangers had struck out 234 times. Tampa Bay had struck out 284 times.
Whoa.
That's got to be a record pace. Close to it anyway.
1-1 the count. Man, that's a big number. My goodness.
That's basically 2 times a game more than the Rangers are striking out.
Sips 1-1 pitch, and Rua went around. Well, and just to correlate the point, though, it's not working any better really for Tampa Bay. They're even 500 coming into play today. You look at those peripheral numbers for the Rangers. Frankly, at 5 games under coming into play today, not bad. They've overcome a lot of things at this point of the season. You think of the blown saves and items like that. The fact that they were 11-16 coming in.
And the graphic we showed in the pregame show, or maybe in the open, the record that the Rangers had in 2015, I think they were 8-16. So the record was a lot worse in 2015 than it is right now. And the Rangers won the division that year. Well, baseball's a funny game. You can be at the top of your game, winning games easily, and all of a sudden everything falls apart. But at the same time, you can get off to this kind of a start, and there's plenty of talent on the team, and all of a sudden it starts to come together. You're stringing together a couple of wins, and all of a sudden there's the graphic we're talking about, 8-15, 11-16 now. You string together some wins, and confidence comes back. Strike zone shrinks a little bit, start swinging at good pitches. Bullpen gets together, and all of a sudden you're on a streak and you're right back where you want to be. It's happened before 2 years ago, and it can certainly happen again. A lot of the same players are the ones that are here right now. But at the same time, it's happened before, but you have to make it happen again. That's what Jeff Bannister's talking about. To to go out there and do the things that are team-oriented that contribute to wins.
Another walk, back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Tony Sipp.
I mentioned Tony Sipp had come into the game with 4 2/3 innings and walked 5. He's now walked 7 in 5 innings. He's had a couple of strikeouts, now a couple of walks.
So he's put a few men on now, and Delano DeShields coming up. Michael Feliz
struck out the first 2 hitters, and this will be his 25th pitch now.
Shields 0 for 3 so far tonight, and in the dirt. The Astros fans starting to squirm just a little bit. Losing command of that strike zone. Just put Chu on, put Rua on. And it is 2-0 to DeShields. You know, it's one thing to put a handful of base runners on for free, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to stay in to see a whole lot of damage done. But it puts whomever comes next in the game in a really ticklish spot.
What do you think Brent Strom's going to say to him right now? Throw strikes? The manager's getting upset. That's what Art Fowler used to go up and tell the pitchers when he was the pitching coach for Billy Martin. Billy's really getting mad right now. You need to throw strikes. One time Art went out and talked to the pitcher, and before he could even sit down, the pitcher had thrown a pitch and the guy hit a home run. And Billy Martin says to him, "Art, what'd you tell him?" "I told him exactly what you told me to tell him, Billy. I told him to throw strikes." We'll see if Tony responds to the visit. There you go, he threw a strike.
Well, he's hit well. Long run out there in center field, but pulled down by Springer.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man does it again. Well struck baseball, but the Rangers leave a couple more on. They'll stand and stretch here tonight. Astros enjoying a 7-run lead.
Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more.
Well, so far this one has gone the way of the Astros. 8-1 our scores. We move on to the bottom of the 7th inning. New third baseman of the game for the Rangers is Pete Kozma. has come on here in the 7th. Joey Gallo has started every single game, and I think these might be the first couple of innings that he's gotten off. So a chance for him to get off his feet. A day game tomorrow to wrap up this 4-game series. And Bass out for a little more work in the 7th. Goes after Carlos Correa. Bass got the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. We did allow a run. And it is 1-1 to Correa. Correa, you see the homer, the double, and the single. Now in his career, he has hit 4 triples. That's all he needs right now for a cycle.
And the reason that pitch looked like it was as far in as it was is Correa kind of diving toward the outside part of the plate. See him stepping into the ball, and all of a sudden there it is, right on your waist.
Two balls and a strike. And this ball hit up the middle. That's a base hit. And that will be all for Correa. He is 4 for 4 tonight. Still short of the cycle.
Here is the AT&T high-speed relay. We'll go back to the 2nd inning. Carlos Correa leading off, slices one to right field just far enough to sneak over the sign down the right field line. And a couple of hitters later, Brian McCann with a line shot that barely cleared a similar part of the right field wall. Wouldn't call them long home runs, but they both counted the same as a long home run. One sliced right-handed and one ripped down a line. AT&T high-speed replay.
Now Beltran 0 for 3. You know, both those, you point out, just did get over the wall there. That is one of the shorter walls in baseball. It's only 7 feet high out there.
I didn't think either one of them was a home run when they hit them.
Nope, me either. Yeah, I mean, and they both, I mean, it was by, I don't know, a foot maybe. They cleared the wall. Most walls, outfield walls in the big leagues, those both would have, or at least certainly McCann's, would have bounced back. And obviously that one, a 20-foot wall out there in left field in the face of those Crawford box seats, 25 feet high up above those bullpens. 2-2 to count on Beltran. But they went over here. The count just the same. And both homers right around 350 feet, according to StatCast. Beltran out in front there. The count stays 2-2. In fairness, Rangers took advantage of those short Crawford box seats yesterday a couple of times. It's a funky ballpark, and there are some ways to get some unusual home runs. I mean, it does not take a lot for guys, big league hitters, to get it out there 315 feet. And it's really right there in the power alley, or just to the left of the power alley there, where you get some real cheap pieces. Odor with a great diving stop, but can't come up with a play either to second or to first. Initially wanted to try and force out Correa, and then thought, well, maybe I can get it back to first base in time, but lost it again.
Tough hop. The rookie got the glove on it. I think he was trying to turn a double play right there. He's got it in the glove, but as he goes to transfer it, he loses control of it. I think he was able to get it to Elvis quickly. Beltran at age 40, not the runner that he once was. They might have been able to turn it. Boy, when Beltran was in his prime, he could run. He was a true five-tool player, one of the best base stealers of this generation as far as not only the quantity but the quality. Hardly ever got thrown out. A terrific base runner, gold glove center fielder, great arm, switch hitter, hit for average, hit for power. He's had a great career. Still regarded as an outstanding offensive player and very important veteran presence on any team that he was on. He was that way with the Yankees, certainly that way with the Rangers when he came over. And the Astros were watching closely and they said, we need that kind of a guy. They went out and paid him a lot of money for 1 year to come here and be that kind of a guy, productive and leader.
You don't always get a chance to know other teams' players that well. You get a sense sometimes, maybe have a conversation or two. This ball golfed out toward right field, and Mazzara with room makes the play. One away. That was the thing last year, though, with Beltran, was the ability to get to know him and find out what kind of a person he really was. And man, we talk about the five tools, but a dazzling person. I mean, what a great guy he was, a great teammate, but a great person to the media, anybody who came along, fans and otherwise. Really spectacular career and player, and a great addition for this Astros team. Again, they went out and got some important veteran presence here. So McCann with the fly out, one away, and here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin a double and a homer today, 2 for 3. Had a huge homestand, and he may have just rolled into a double play or go to second for one. Not in time. Back at first. They'll take the out. Correa's at third. Gonzalez on at first. And I don't suspect they're going to want to review this one, but they'll take a look.
I don't think so. They just turned one earlier on Altuve. It didn't look like it was going to be a double play. That one certainly didn't look like a double play. It wasn't hit hard. Ruby had a long throw to second. Came pretty close.
So on the corners now for Bregman. Popped up his last time in. Takes ball one. So Bregman. A couple more hits today. The Astros with 11 hits overall. They seem to take a little momentum in the late innings yesterday into today, because they got their runs early. 4 runs in the second, added 4 more in the 6th. Have not let up tonight. I think they've only won 1, 2, 3 innings. Back in the first. Bregman swinging 2-0, lines it out to right field. Mazzara coming on, and did he scoop it? He did.
Beautiful play.
Great play by Mazzara, saves a run, maybe more. Inning over. We'll go to the 8th. It's 8-1 Houston. as we go to the 8th inning. And reminder that Mother's Day is Sunday, May 14th, and there's no better way to celebrate than by taking mom out to the ballpark. Rangers and A's, a 2:05 game. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive a Mother's Day Rangers Infinity Scarf. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Jake Marisnick has come on to play center field. Springer out of the game. And now Michael Feliz has taken over on the mound.
Feliz didn't fare all that well in last night's game. He was gone pretty quick. He gets another opportunity to come back and feel better about his overall game if he can pitch well tonight. Big, strong guy, mid-90s fastball, hard slider, posing size on the mound.
He'll get the 2, 3, and 4 hitters from the Rangers in this 8th inning. Odor has been the toughest out tonight. He's reached all 3 times: a single, a double, a walk. And he's fared awfully well in that second spot in the order tonight. Feliz, you mentioned, a good sized guy, 6'4", 240 pounds. He's just 23 years old. And Odor hits this one high in the air down the right field line, but it will end up in the stands. It bounces around a little bit. 1-2 the count. Chased a break ball upstairs. So Odor, a strikeout victim to start the 8th inning. All right, time for a Chevy game break. We send it back to the studios with Dana Larson. Thanks, Dana. How about that American League Central? I mean, everybody right in it. Kansas City, the only team right now, not within 1 game of the top spot. Kansas City's 6 out, but the White Sox, Twins, Indians, Tigers, all within a half game of one another.
Yeah. Some of those teams have been rumored to have pitching available, but if you're in a pennant race, it's pretty tough to trade. Santana, for instance, from Minnesota. Quintana from Chicago. Be prime trade targets for teams in a pennant race, but you can't trade them if you're one of the teams in the pennant race.
Andrews hits this deep to center, but Marisnick is there.
Well hit ball by Elvis all the way out to the sign in right center field. And Delino, for the 2nd time in this series, last inning, hit a bullet with men on base. Springer made that tremendous play. Hit one in yesterday's game pretty well to left field with a couple of men on that was caught too.
Well, here's Cosma. Cosma came in and played third base last inning. And we saw him yesterday. Into the 9th, reached on an infield hit. Recently added to this Rangers roster a couple of days ago. Jurickson Profar sent back to Round Rock to play every day. Cosma picked up from the Yankees. It's 0-2. Well, Feliz, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Astros. On the back of Tony Sipp's effort in the 7th inning. Trying to make it a perfect 8th. A little short on the Rangers again tonight, and game 4 of the series will come on them quickly. We'll be back here a 1:05 start tomorrow. in the final game of this series. Kozma strikes out, completing a 1-2-3 8th inning for Michael Phillies. So everything the Astros doing, they're doing well tonight. At the bottom of the 8th inning, we'll take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Wrap it up tomorrow afternoon, and then it's a getaway day. Rangers headed up to Seattle for 3 beginning Friday night against the Mariners, and we'll dovetail from there into San Diego. Start a quick 2-gamer in San Diego against the Padres. And Aoki leading off the 8th inning, pops one up to left, one away. Well, the Rangers will take on the A's. That'll be Saturday, May 13th. The first 15,000 fans will be treated to an Elvis Andrus High Five bobblehead presented by Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. This is the first in a series of 2 high-fiving bobbleheads. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. One out, bottom of the 8th. And now Jake Marisnick, his first at bat of the night. Marisnick has done a nice job at the plate in this early part of the season. Well, that has not necessarily been the case in his career. Very good defensive outfielder. And it's 1-1. Had to start yesterday in center field. And there's 1 for 2, and he bounces this one up the middle. That's a base hit, so he is on in the 8th inning. The Rick Flair woo for Josh Reddick now. Reddick, today, a lot of excitement in that Astros clubhouse. We talked about this the other day. Big wrestling fan, and that's why the fans all serenading with that woo. But he ordered a big championship belt. What do you call those? The wrestling belts?
Yes, that's what you call it.
Huh? And should be arriving any day to this Astros clubhouse. Well, the Rangers have one of those that they've been handing around for a while now to whomever it is that the players deem to be the player of the game. So Reddick apparently kind of adopting the same idea. He's going to bring that to the Astros clubhouse, and he hits this ball hard out to right field, and that one is gone.
That's like left field in Camden Yards. One of the best home run spots in baseball. This one The way they've flown out of here, those balls, 3 home runs they've hit to short right field. Looks like every bit as enticing a spot as Camden Yards left field.
Ooh, nice play out there too by that gentleman. Nice one-handed grab. So 1 out, and Jose Altuve. It's a 10-1 Astros lead. Bouncer right to second base, and Odor takes care of his opposite number. 2 away.
10-1. Altuve's 0 for 5. Rounded out the shortstop 3 times. Once it was a double play, foul pop up and a little tap to second base. So shut down Altuve, but the rest of the team is chipped in.
Well, Altuve and Carlos Beltran, the only Astros who have not scored. It's a season high 10 runs.
Thank you.
Correa, I wasn't confident Correa would get another chance at the cycle. He's 4 for 4, and indeed has gotten another opportunity.
Well, there's a lot of places here where you might be able to get a triple. Left center, right center out there, depending on what the outfielder does. We were saying that in Boston the day Benji Molina came up needing a triple for the cycle. The odds on him, I wonder what the odds on him hitting a triple for the cycle would have been in that at bat.
You can't. I mean,
1,000 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even put a number on it, right?
He hit that ball to right center field. Center fielder played it. He played it mediocre anyway, but he played it into a triple. I think if Benji didn't need the triple for the cycle, I think he would have stopped at second because he was gassed. A lot of people say, and I'm one of them, that was one of the most fun things to watch in Ranger history. It wasn't all that meaningful, but basically the cycle is a fluke. It's not anything that's, you have to have a nice day, but it doesn't mean like Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle are the only ones that do it.
Right, exactly. Well, 2 more added to the scoreboard for the Astros. Last chance for the Rangers coming up. Okay, thanks, Dana. Last chance coming up here for the Rangers, and Jonathan Lucroy fouls off strike 1. 10-1. See, Tom, now I've always felt like if you're going to lose a game, just lose it. 10-1. And then if you're going to win a game, it's just a waste of resources to win it by 9. Like, this is bad run allocation on the part of the Astros.
Here's the problem with that train of thought.
Okay.
If you don't want to win by a lot and you keep the game close, you're going to have a lot of heartbreakers along the way when the other team scores a couple to beat you. Very few managers would share that train of thought.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Most managers say, give me a
blowout any day.
20-run lead in the 9th inning so I'd sit there and relax. Don't make me sweat it out.
Now,
AJ Hinch, I know, would feel that way.
They had to sweat tonight. Had a 4-run lead.
They've been doing that to teams this year, scoring late to win games.
They have. This is really sort of odd territory for them. They had 12 come from behind wins this year, which is most in baseball. But they have 3 this year, in which they have trailed by at least 5 runs. And it had been like 9 years since they had done that, but they've done it 3 times already in these first 5 weeks of the season.
Unfortunately, we saw one of them last night.
2-2 to Jonathan Lucroy. Rangers 1 run came in the 5th inning. That was Mazzara leading off the inning with a base hit. Later would come in on a Ryan Rua base hit. That's a full count now on Lucroy. So Michael Feliz through the scoreless 8th inning, out here in the 9th. And try and wrap this thing up for the Astros. By the way, tip of the cap to Anthony Bass. Went 2 2/3 in relief of Nick Martinez tonight and saved that bullpen. Yesterday was a complete bullpen day for the Rangers when Claudio was pressed into duty at the very last second. In fact, today, for the ball game, Matt Hicks on the radio side was doing a pregame interview with him, and he said, "You know, we found out about 15 minutes before the ball game that you were going to be starting. When did you know?" And he said, "Man, you guys had a 5-minute jump on me. I didn't know until about 10 minutes before the game."
Yeah, they called him out of the clubhouse. He was getting ready with no idea what was going on.
So a walk for Jonathan Lucroy to start this 9th inning, and now here is Nomar Mazara. Nomar hit a ball hard back in the 5th inning for a base hit. I think you remarked at the time that it was probably 107, 108 miles. It was 113 miles per hour. It was just a single, but he smoked it.
Yeah, I felt like it was over 100. I'm over 110. That was probably the best ball he's hit since the Cleveland series early in the season. Not that he hasn't had other home runs and other balls that have been hit well, but that was especially well hit.
One for 3 tonight. And bounces this one second base. Altuve on the high hop goes to second one. And the relay is good at first. They do get Mazzara. I wasn't sure Gonzalez was going to be able to stay on the base.
For a big guy, Correa is quick. He comes across the bag and comes straight over the top with that hard throw to first base to complete the double play. Not an easy one to turn because it's kind of a chopper. Altuve gives the long flip and Correa comes right straight over the top, and nice play at first base by Gonzalez.
Well, Rangers down to their final out now. Napoli 1 for 3 steps in. Michael Feliz carries ball 1. Rangers won't have to stew on this one very long tonight. Might back out here quickly tomorrow morning. Another spike. Charlie Morton, 6 pretty impressive innings for the Astros. And likely to pick up now his 3rd win of the year against 2 losses. MLB.com @bat is your #1 mobile app for live Rangers baseball. Follow the Rangers with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and a whole lot more. Download the MLB.com @bat today. Rangers down to their final strike. And punched out 12 more times tonight. And Phillies gets Napoli to win this one. Well, a tough and forgettable night for the Rangers tonight. They fall short 10-1 our final score. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, and David Murphy will be back with you here momentarily to set up the series finale. Still a lot more coverage to come from tonight. For Tom Grieve, John Radigan, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay right there. More Rangers coverage coming up right after this.